Okay, so I recently applied for a product with Navy Federal and I got denied. They then sent me a letter in the mail telling me the reason for my denial. And also on that letter, they also told me what my internal score was that I had with them. Whenever you get denied for a product with Navy Federal, they're always going to mention things that you can do so that this won't ever happen again. So in this video, I'm just going to be mentioning all the key factors that Navy Federal says will affect your Navy Federal credit score. If you're already a subscriber, then welcome back. But if you guys are new to my channel, my name is Ismael Sandiford and you are now watching Just Money, where we talk about financial related topics such as personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics. So if that's something you're into, then you're probably going to want to consider subscribing. But without further ado, let's get to today's video. Okay, so if you're looking to get a product with Navy Federal, such as a mortgage loan, an auto loan, new credit cards, anything of that nature, you're probably going to want to consider bringing your internal score up. And there's a few ways to go about this, but before I dive into that, let me quickly go over what an internal score is for those of you that may not know what that is. So Navy Federal has their own crediting system that they use to determine your eligibility and your trustworthiness you have with them. And this is going to be called internal points, aka your Navy Federal credit score. And this is going to be different from your actual credit score, although your actual credit score does play a key factor on determining what your Navy Federal credit score is. And these internal points are going to range anywhere from 100 all the way up to 450, by the way. And you typically want to be above the 250 range for best chances of approval. If your internal score is under 250, then I would definitely hold off on applying for new things. But anyways, now that you know the gist of what an internal score is, let's talk about ways that you can start bringing it up now. So in this denial letter that I recently received from Navy Federal directly, they themselves basically said this is how you bring your Navy Federal credit score up. And they mentioned 5 ways that you can do this, so let me go over what these 5 ways are. The first will be balance status of your Navy Federal accounts. So this pretty much means what you have in the bank with them. So if you're sitting on some cash in your checking and your savings account, they're going to take all that into consideration. Because if you don't have money in those accounts and you're trying to apply for something, then it doesn't look as good as it would if you did have money and then you were applying for something. Understand? So always try to have money sitting in either your checking or your savings account. I know for me personally, I bank with another bank other than the Navy Federal, and that's going to be Chase Bank. And for the longest, I had majority of my money in the Chase Bank account when I really should have had it in my Navy Federal account. Because Chase doesn't even really do anything for me like how Navy Federal does, so it just doesn't make sense. So now I've made Navy Federal my primary bank, and then Chase is just my secondary bank now. And it's kind of sad to see, to be honest, but that bank doesn't do anything for me like how Navy Federal does, so I'm out. Sorry, Chase. Now the second thing you can do to improve your internal score with Navy Federal is by having a sufficient variety of secured loan accounts. So what this pretty much means is you have to have products with Navy Federal. And by products, I mean credit cards, pledge loans, auto loans, that kind of stuff. And if you guys would like to know on how to receive any of those things, there's plenty of videos on my channel in regards to that. And I'll also post some links in the description below for you guys to watch. But by having more products with Navy Federal, you begin to start building a relationship with them. Because like I always say, this is a relationship-based bank. And they also want to see that you're not going anywhere no time soon. So by having any product with them that has you making recurring payments every month, then they know you're here to stay and you're just not some guy that's just here to freeload and go. They know you're not going anywhere and that you're pretty much going to be banking with them for a while. So now both of you guys have each other's business, and that makes Navy Federal want to do more for you. So that's another way to build up your Navy Federal credit score. And also, if you guys are finding any of this information helpful, if you guys could do me a favor really quick and hit the like button, I would truly appreciate that because it really helps me out a lot. Now the third way to build up your Navy Federal credit score is by not having too many installment loans open within the past 12 months. Or if you do, make sure that you're making a significant amount of money to make sure you're taking care of all of those installment loans you have open. Because all of those installment loans that you have open, Navy Federal is getting that information and adding everything up. And if you're not making enough income to support all of those installment loans, then that can lead to you getting denied. Think of it as DTI, debt to income ratio. And what a debt to income ratio is, it's pretty much what you make monthly versus what you owe monthly. So for example, if you have payments that add up to $1,700 a month, but you're only making $2,000 a month, and you try to apply for something else, Navy Federal is going to deny you. And this is simply because your debt to income ratio is just too high. They're looking at you like, hey, this person's a risk and we're not going to approve him. So at this point, you can either do 2 things. 1, find a way to start making more money, or 2, get rid of some loans that you have open so that way you can lower your debt to income ratio. In other words, lower your monthly payments. Okay, now the 4th thing that you can do to improve your Navy Federal credit score is by setting a direct deposit with them. This is huge. If you haven't done this yet, this is one of the most important, simplest things that you can do. Because like I said earlier, my main bank used to be Chase, but now it's Navy Federal. I switched my direct deposit that I had with Chase and I switched it to Navy Federal now. And again, the reason why I did that is because Navy Federal provided me with way more value than Chase ever did. So if you guys have your direct deposit set up with another bank, then I would highly recommend it that you switch your direct deposit from that bank to your Navy Federal account. Because Navy Federal likes when you do this because they see themselves that you're a committed consumer with them. And by doing just that, you have now built a better relationship with Navy Federal. Okay, now the fifth thing that Navy Federal looks at when building your internal score is how many inquiries you have on your credit bureau report. If you have too many inquiries on your credit report, then Navy Federal is definitely going to take that into consideration when determining if you should be approved or not for whatever you're trying to apply for. So try not to have too many inquiries on your credit report. And inquiries tend to stay on your credit report for at least 2 years, so definitely take that into consideration when applying for something. Okay, so to review all the information that I pretty much said in this video, just make sure that you're doing all of the following. Have money in your checking or your savings account. Have more products with Navy Federal. Don't have too many installment loans open at once if you already have a high debt to income ratio. Set up a direct deposit with Navy Federal and make sure you don't have too many hard inquiries on your credit report. But that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments below, why are you trying to bring up your internal score with Navy Federal? Is there something you're applying for? What is it? Let me know in the comments below. I would like to know, and not only would I like to know, I think all of us as a community would like to know, so just comment down below and let me know. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, then I do truly appreciate you guys. We're at 14,516 subscribers at the time of this recording, so I do appreciate all who watch. I do post weekly videos, so if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you haven't yet already, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that way you guys get notified every time I-ish post a new video. And again, we talk about personal and business credit, real estate, and other financial related topics, so if that's something you're into, you're probably gonna want to consider subscribing. We talk about how to get high limits on your credit cards, how to get business credit, we talk about real estate, we talk about mortgage loan products, so this is your one-stop shop. And for those that don't know, I'm also a real estate agent, a realtor here in Southern California, so if you're trying to buy or sell a home out here, then I got you guys. All my information is in the description below. I am also a licensed mortgage loan originator, so if you need funding for a home, then all my information is in the description below. But again, if you guys made it to the end of the video, then I do truly appreciate you guys. I really do. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.